And if you think for 1 second that you're going to approach somebody at FFL and ask them to help you and they're not going to say yes, you're shorting yourself.
That's why I love talking to you. You have so much, I will call it straight up wisdom, that you just, you've been around the block.
You see what I'm saying? You stick around long enough.
Yeah.
This stuff it's momentum on fire.
Thank you for joining us on our Family First Life Tri-State Serve the People podcast. We appreciate you tuning in, spending your time to develop and grow with us. Follow us, please, on all our social media platforms at Family First Life Tri-State or FFL Tri-State. We love you. Keep listening, and I hope this information is serving you across the country.
All right. Thank you for joining us on our Training Day podcast. Boy, am I excited today. I've got my great friend, sister, Danielle Byrne, Supreme Hall of Famer, Executive Vice President. I always felt like you had that executive in you. Executive Vice President of Family First Life Legacy, Danielle Byrne, better known as DB, in the building with me. What's up?
Not much. Everything's great. Just loving life. Totally loving life.
You're crushing life, so that makes sense. DB, yeah. You sent me a text a while back, and you were just talking about the place you were in from a place of joy, and we're talking like life can be amazing if you let it. What does that statement mean to you?
Oh, gosh, Mark.
I didn't know we were going to start that way either.
Yeah, I didn't know we were going to come out of the gate like that. Coming in hot. So, life can be amazing if you let it. I think it really, really, for me, boiled down to the things that I could control in my life and really, truly letting go of the things that I couldn't control. Because if I allow the things that I can't control to rent space in my head for free, right, then I'm not focused on what I actually want to accomplish. And the more mental bandwidth that I can get with focus, then the better I am. And then the more grateful I am and the more joy I have, right? Which ironically, my daughter's name is Joy. And I got a lot of her. A lot of her. I need to hire a duplicate Amy to handle Joy's schedule. I'm just going to leave that there.
But you're saying a lot, and because this is a message right now. When you said that to me and we had that brief exchange, this message I've lived. What you said registers so well with me because you've watched me on both sides of the coin. Right? Trying to control everything and then truly, and you said the word truly, letting go.
Like legitimately, not just saying you're.
So here's the thing though. We have so many people that want to understand this concept because it's so freeing, but it's so hard to get free. I hear it in your soul. So can you walk us down the path of some of the things that you allowed, some of the things that you worked on for that space to not live rent-free in your head? Because at the end of the day, if it is occupying space, boy, is it eating hours? Is it eating clock?
Yeah.
Is it eating mind? Is
And
it
I
eating
don't
mood?
think,
It's
Mark,
eating so much.
I don't think there's a way to quantify how much space it's actually taking. Like, I don't think there's a way to really quantify that until you feel like those things are actually removed. That's when you realize, oh my gosh, my productivity has gone through the roof, right?
That's crazy.
So in your case and in my case, I had to get humble enough to accept constructive criticism from somebody who truly had my best interest at heart, not somebody that was just trying to be a control freak or somebody that was trying to take my inventory or anything like that.
Right.
Someone who said, listen, I see this in you. And if we can get rid of A, B, and C, and we could remove that, you're going to run through a brick wall. So I had to get a couple people in my life whose life looked like I wanted it to be. Just to, not to digress, but I'm not kidding. I walked up to a lady the other day in the gym, and she's a physique competitor, and I'm not a physique competitor. I'm never going to be a physique competitor. It's not what I want. I don't want that. But I walked up to her and I asked her some questions that were specific to some things that I really liked about what she did. And she, I think, immediately thought that I wanted training or something along those lines, or an opportunity to, whatever. But the truth is I could go on YouTube, I could go down the rabbit hole, I can go on Facebook groups, and I can look for a bunch of people who don't know what they're talking about and get the answers. Or I can look at this woman who's 52 and looks younger than me, okay, and ask her what she does, right? So I say all of that, right, to say that you can't find what's stopping you unless you ask somebody else to be accountable. You can't. And if you don't have anybody like that in your life, find someone, because there's enough leaders at FFL, right? There's so many, like, you have your pick. And if you think for 1 second that you're going to approach somebody at FFL and ask them to help you, and they're not going to say yes, you're shorting yourself.
Sure.
Does that answer the question?
I wasn't sure if you needed a water break or if you was about to hit me with a whole nother douse of wisdom. I'm like a kid at a movie, I'm just trying to eat the candy and watch the show.
Because what I found too, Mark, and this goes for our business. Oh my gosh, does this go for our business? 50 million people saying the same dumb thing doesn't make it any less dumb. Okay? And if you look, it doesn't, right? If you look at some other organizations and the way that they do things, and those people are not protecting families, they are all not doing it the way that we're doing it. You see what I'm saying? And just because they're all saying it doesn't make it right.
Right. Dude, and I think that this is I hope people are understanding this. This is the type, I wasn't ready for this podcast, but this is the type of podcast that'll set you free. Because I talk to people every day that are looking to control more. And you're looking to control less.
A lot less.
It's because you found victory. And it's a hard battle. So it's hard. We're doing the best we can teaching it right now. But I pray for more people to come down this path that you've made it down, because I see the illumination in your life and what you're doing and the freedom to be who you want to be. And it's working, by the way. And that's the way it would work if you gave yourself the freedom to do it. So, man, I can't tell you, and we're just getting started, so it sounds like we're ending, but I can't tell you how proud of you that I am, and how amazing it is to watch what you're doing. And I know every crevice of it and why it looks the way it looks right now. So being like in the thick of it with you, but knowing like what's happening and what's happened, and how freeing it all is, and how truly you're living your best life. Not perfect, but
no.
but you wake up and smile every day and say, I thank God my feet hit the ground. That's that's hard to do sometimes, and that's amazing. That's an amazing place to be.
Mark, anyone who's starting out, anyone who's new, you've made that first decision, and you might look back and say, was I crazy for making this decision? Like how we question ourselves a million times when we first get started. And what they did the person who's just starting is they made a decision to choose passion over security, right? Because and by the way, security is, a term that we think we have when we have a job, right? we think we have security. And we think that the mortgage is going to get paid every month and the electric bill, and we think all that. But the passion, if you come in and you believe you're worth more than, your W-2 for $35,000 or whatever it is, I don't care whatever. If you believe you're worth more than that, and you can hold on to an iota of gaining momentum there and doing what other people have done before you, and you can also stick in the peaks and the valleys,
right?
Because we've had a lot of valleys, right? Laughing so hard the other day at the summer of the Social Security lead. I was so hard. People want to complain. I was dead. I was talking to another agent. They were talking about a final expense mailer that they hadn't seen. I go, let me see it. And I was like, I was dying. We were getting hit in the face. It was a BPL. You said, we're always going to remember the summer of the Social Security.
Hey, we can survive that. We can survive anything.
Yeah. That's why when COVID came, we grew.
That's crazy, dude. But every single year, you are in the Hall of Fame. You're donning a red jacket year in and year out. Last year, you had your best year ever, and you're on pace to crack that. Talk to us about why you're so consistent, and and the way you approach your business. I know it's evolved because your mindset has morphed into something that's just far greater than it was. So, but talk to us because we're trying to learn.
So the approach to my business is, I look at things on a macro level, but I really control the things that bring income and cash flow on a micro level. Like I really, really do. One of the things that I would definitely say as far as the business is concerned is, unlike some folks, I still pick up the phone. I still knock on doors. I still remember that the leads are the lifeblood of this business. And I also remember that I never, ever, Mark Mead's brilliant words is marry a lead. You never marry a lead, you date them all. And so that being said, my basics, like my wash, rinse, repeat, as you would say, they haven't changed. Those things have not changed. I'm still, I got a call from Sean Mike the other day, and I was like, I'll call you back. I'm dialing. And
that's a little extreme. I'm on the record as that's a little extreme, but keep going. I love it.
Extreme. I'm so sorry. But here's the ticket. Sean Mike gets that.
Yeah, he does.
He gets that. He gets that. He gets that. He gets the plight of the agent.
Yeah, he does.
And he has never forgotten that.
But dude, that's a great quote. Yeah. Call me back. I'm dialing, because I'm literally, I've probably said that 6 times in the last 3 days, not because I'm dialing, because I'm trying to teach people how to control how to manage and control their time. Right. And it's like people, people flippantly just, hey, over there, squirrel. Oh, it's just like, no, that's not going to help you become consistent. So keep rolling.
Yeah, correct. And with my dialing, I've always had a really strong phone script, but, I think about some of the things that, that John Wetmore has said, like, I left my jacket at your house and I'm calling you to come pick it up. I keep it really, really simple when I dial. And if people want to go down the rabbit hole, I know that I'm doing more harm than good. So I'm managing the dialing. And then on the micro level, looking for clients for life. Okay. I'm really looking for clients for life, whether it's a final expense policy, retirement planning, whatever that is, that's what I'm looking for. So like, for example, if I put in an app that has a carrier that is not as quick as most of the carriers that we use, if I have an app that's putting in that it takes a while, it's so easy to build great rapport with somebody when you're sitting in front of them, and then 3-4 days go by and you forget about it. When you're in your car, just call them up. Just call them up. They love it. Just call them up. Hey, just wanted to let you know it's a really, really popular time to be, putting in applications for mortgage protection. And I checked on everything. There's nothing outstanding that's needed, but we're still waiting on an approval.
That's
great.
Really popular time.
It's always a popular
that exudes
time.
Amazing confidence, though. I mean, I'd love to hear that from my age. Like, does that make sense? That's great.
Yeah. And it is. And when you call them, the amount of touches that you do with people, like the amount of time you touch them, you want to remember that you want them to remember you, right? Like you want them to remember you, and you were memorable in the house or on the Zoom. But if you call them, and these days, how many actual people are calling? Like you're always getting some kind of automated something with a prompt or something like that. And the level of control that I have now in the business cycle is far, far greater than I've ever had. Example, if I'm in the home and I have to determine that, or if I have to prove them wrong, so to speak, that they don't have a $500,000 whole life policy and I need to blow that up before I close them on a different policy,
right,
I'm going to make that call, and I'm going to prep them for me making that call in the home. Because somebody wise once said that people who have insurance buy insurance.
No doubt.
And when they have insurance, they buy insurance. So if somebody already has insurance,
they're buying.
That's your
Those are my favorite people in the world. I love you. We don't have to do the education portion of, do you need life or do you want? You already have it.
Right. And if they don't have it, that's weird. That's weird. So we're in an emergency situation then, if you don't have it. And I got this one too, Mark. Oh my gosh, I got this one too. I cannot believe I have not heard this in these words before. And you're welcome to anyone listening right now, because this is great.
You're hysterical.
The best way to save money on the future cost of insurance is to buy as much of it as you can.
Is that right?
It is.
Get it while it's on sale.
It's on sale.
I like that. I do like that. I've never heard that.
No, I didn't either. That's why it blew my mind. I literally stopped that. I stopped bench pressing when I heard it. The book is
okay.
I was listening to the book on Audible.
What was the book?
Working. Sacred Cows.
Got it. And that they said life insurance. Is it a book on life insurance?
That's what he was referring to. It's a book on financial myths.
Got it. Makes sense.
That we would buy. Yeah.
Say it one more time. The best time.
Yeah. The best way to save on the future cost of insurance is to buy as much of it as you can.
Wow. I would use that in every home.
Yeah. No, I have. As soon as I heard that.
But that empowers the sale. That's pretty good. I mean, especially as an upfront, it's not it's a lead-in. It's almost like you said at the beginning or somewhere in the beginning, like, you're empowering. Hey, I do life insurance. I'm an agent. Yes, I believe in life insurance. You should believe in life insurance. And guess what? We're buying it while it's on sale. Wow. I feel like I want to go in a home.
I know you do. You do belong in like one home a week, just so you
at least one, just to get that dirt off my shoulder.
Yep. And with on top of that too, Mark, and this is where it circles back to being so serious. Okay. So this is, I'm going to make this as brief as I can, but this is powerful, and use my story in the home and tell the people that, one of your coworkers experienced this. So In October, one of my clients died, and I never got a phone call, never got a death claim notification, never got anything, right? I wrote them in 2016, 2017, probably right when I got started with you guys. That was earlier, but no one needs to know that. Anyway, my point is, January, I got the notification that she died, but she died in October. So I was actually in the area, and I stopped at their house. Okay, I didn't call. I stopped at their house, and he answered the door, and I said, I had no idea Linda passed, blah, 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 blah. Started talking with him. He goes, I didn't know she had this policy.
Wow.
Okay? You can't make this up. So we fill out the death claim paperwork. Okay.
Wow.
And it's $100,000 policy, by the way.
Wow.
Okay. Term, probably my first term death claim. Like I've had a ton of whole life, because I was final expense for a long. But my first, actually, that's a lie. But anyway, you get the point. So we fill out all the paperwork. Death check comes. As I'm filling out the paperwork, I'm just going to say, because this is going to be heard by a lot of people, next to me was a lot of instruments that people would use to have illegal activity, like in the home, right? Like a lot of paraphernalia. Okay. And it's not illegal in my state. So that'll tell you what it was, right?
Sure.
No big deal. So I'm doing whatever. I've seen plenty of things in homes. I really didn't care.
Right.
And there's a bunch of kids running around, and the two young children, 24 and 26, are living there. So it's the dad and two grown children with grandkids running around everywhere. Okay. He says, Danielle, when I get this check, I really want to invest some money with you. And I said, all right, so let me ask you this real quick. How much life insurance did you get before you found out about this policy? I got about $150,000 before I found out about this policy. What'd you do with that money? Well, I bought my son a truck, and I got new windows for the house. And I said, and how much of it do you have now? And he said, none. Okay. I said, hold on to this 100,000, and in 6 months, we'll talk about it again. I intuitively knew that. A lot of people would say, oh, roll that into an annuity immediately. I'm telling you, I intuitively knew that. I got a call. This was 2 weeks ago. I got a call, and I answered, hey, how you doing? He goes, hey, I'm not good. I'm sure you already heard. I said, no, I did not. He said, my youngest son ran over 2 women down in Virginia Beach. One of them was killed instantly, and the other one, and the other one's in the hospital. And I said, okay. He goes, I need to know if I can get any money out of my IRA, because a while back we had done an annuity. And I said, he goes, I need to pay for an attorney. I said, Richard, I said, I gave you $100,000 check a few months ago. How much do you have? And he goes, I don't have anything.
Wow.
Okay. So my point, he wanted money for a lawyer. My point in saying this is that when you're in the home and you're securing life insurance for people, let them know that you are going to be on the case when somebody dies. Because as much as we are transactional in the home, and yes, you got approved, and yes, I got paid big, and I'm excited to go home and I can fill my tank and not get worried and all this exciting stuff. If you're not there to guide people, they will be just as broke 6 months later from getting all of that money. This guy should be living in a paid off home with paid off cars and paid off, and he's not. So that's how it circles back to our business. That's the reality.
And it continues to perpetuate itself out.
And this is not for people to be like down in the dumps or anything like that. This is to say that this is the real life. This is what happens. This is what happens. And most people don't know how to handle when they get $100,000 check.
Right.
Most people don't know how to handle if they get a $15,000 check.
Right.
They need you. And Mark, I just filed the death claim on my mother-in-law's policy, by the way. My mother-in-law passed away. And
sorry for your loss.
I mean, thank you. And I mean, I wrote the policy. You see what I'm saying? You stick around long enough.
Yeah.
This stuff it's momentum on fire.
It's true. You help a lot of people. Jeez. But I mean, you've always been a huge advocate for what we do. And like you said, sometimes it sounds very transactional and yeah, I got paid and woohoo, yip you do. But and it's great. Yep. The greatest thing about what we do is it's mutually beneficial on all sides. But the greatest thing about what we do is that we're helping people. This type of stuff is game changing because, what if you weren't out there doing what you do every day? It's real.
Yeah. No, it definitely is. And I mean, it's weird too, no matter how many families I've helped, when I see somebody's address and I see the house, that it all comes back to me. I might not remember your name, but if I see the house or the address, I'm like, oh gosh, I remember this. And I know this house smells like dog pee, but I'm going in,
Dude, I've been in so many homes and so many neighborhoods and so many repeats. I mean, honestly, my kids now go to a school in a territory I used to run, which is it's about 45 minutes from my house. So it's like we're driving them to school 45 minutes. But I'm in like these neighborhoods that I haven't been in almost 5 years. And I'm like, I remember that and that. And that. You would think I know the streets because I ran there for 8 straight years. But it's been 4.5, 5 years I've not been there. So it's like just the repeat. It's the memory lane. But at the same time, as you said, when you're in a territory long enough, people know who you are. People know what you represent. People are willing, more than willing, to work with you, to refer you out their friends, their family. And, after a while, you're right. You do deliver a decent amount of death checks. From the first one, you're euphoric about our business because you're helping. You help somebody, but the more you do it, the more you see, and that's why I love talking to you. You have so much, I will call it straight up wisdom that you've just, you've been around the block, and you're a staple on this podcast because you always have something new to share, and people need to know what the other side looks like. People need to know that if you're a responsible, professional agent for years on end, that you can build the life you want and that you can help a lot of people. And that's what you represent every single time you hop on this podcast. I can't thank you enough.
Oh, absolutely. Another in-home nugget that I found very, very helpful and useful is some folks will look at a mortgage protection with an older client, like a retired age, and they will think, I can't help this person, right? And we have excellent training on mortgage payment protection, and we have excellent training on, buying time, right, for somebody to get out of the home and get the equity. If you understand that process and you're still having trouble by any means, one of the things I heard as well on this book that really pertains to what we were talking about is if you have these older clients and they've got a lot of ailments, and we know that we're going to be taking a permanent product and we're going to be slicing it up into mortgage payments, that is when I drop, listen, there's a time for accumulation of assets, okay? There is a time for full mortgage protection of the entire balance, and you are past both of those. You see what I'm saying when I say that? because
I'm writing business. I'm getting leads after this call.
You're not getting you had 4 heart attacks and you're type 2 diabetic. You're not getting 300,000.
Right.
You're not. But what you will get is a lot of time for your wife to decide what she's going to do.
So, all right. I like that. And I need the other side of it, though. You're
sure.
past both those times. Then what's next? How do you transition into this time period protection?
Well, I'm right off the bat calculating the equity in the home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's say there's $100,000 of equity in the home, and on the quoting sheet, you know, I'm making sure that that's in bold. You know, like 100,000 is what we're protecting. And another thing too, don't assume that everybody understands that. You know, you used to say it's your bag of cash in the basement. You know, people need to understand that when a home is up for sale, that you're getting what you've paid down, provided it sells at, you know, the larger price. And having that knowledge and explaining, hey, listen, Sally, I need you to understand that if you decide to downsize and if you're leaving and you only owe $200 on this house, but you sell it for $300, they're going to write you a check for $100,000. I need you to understand that. But they're not writing you a check if you're missing mortgage payments. That's called foreclosure.
Right.
You see?
Yep.
So I'm not making it about the $10,000 policy or the $15,000 policy or whatever it ends up being for that time period. I'm making that payment available for that time, and it has the value of the equity and it has the value of the time.
That's serious. Whoo, baby. You've been simmering in broth. This is serious. I'm learning now, right now. I mean, this is really good. I mean, that's good stuff. I can't. I almost need to get. I'm getting you back on another podcast.
It should probably be soon. I got some stuff.
We're gonna. Okay, so all right. We started off not knowing we were gonna start where we started. We're fine. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to get you back on because this is the stuff with the seasoning on it. You know what I'm saying? This is the stuff with the Old Bay on it. You know what I'm saying? With a nice
and if anybody can shorten their learning curve, Mark, like if anyone can shorten their learning curve, wouldn't you want to?
Amen.
You know,
say no more. Say no more. Say no more. We're done. We're bringing you back on very soon to go straight nuts and bolts from the word go. Danielle Byrne, DB, Executive Vice President, my girl. I appreciate you more than you know, man. Seriously.
Yes, it's been great, and I got more. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you so much for listening. This is great stuff. Get your pen out. God bless. Thank you, baby.